This is Tom Wrobleski, the political editor of the Staten Island Advance. We're here today with City Councilman Vincent Ignizio, Republican of the South Shore. Welcome.
Morning.
Well, obviously everybody's still talking politics these last couple of days, last few weeks, after Congressman Fossella announced he would not run for re-election. The Republican Party had some trouble locking in a candidate. You're a former party chairman. How did you view all this happening?
It's the part of the vetting process. I mean, there are those that one immediately assumed would desire the seat that, quite frankly, didn't for various reasons. Andy Lanza, state senator, has done a great job serving this community with distinction, but chose, because of family implications, not to run. I myself took myself out extremely early. I have a 7-month-old baby girl, and the rigors of Washington are very difficult. Jimmy Otto has a desire to seek the borough presidency. He has made that clear to many people, so he didn't want to run. And Dan Donovan went through a process himself. Did he want to run, and did he want to stay where he was and serve the people of Staten Island District Attorney's Office, and ultimately decided to do that. My good friend, as you know, Steve Fiala, he toyed with it, and facing the rigors of raising the money and, quite frankly, his concern of the future of the seat, he decided to stay where he is. So, and then the vetting process began. It was a very open process. You heard Curtis Lee was saying he was interested, and my response in the paper was, come on down for an interview. I mean, I think that's the process that we've had. The Democratic process, the Democrats went through that, the Republicans went through that, and I think we come out with stronger candidates and all the better for it in the end.
It was a very open process, obviously, a prolonged process. Were you surprised at some other people that Frank Powers ended up being the designee? Obviously well known in Republican circles, mostly as a fundraiser and also through his work on the MTA board. But it did seem to be, it almost seemed to literally go up to the last minute that night at the convention.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it was a process whereby when you took the elected officials out of the process and ones who weren't interested for various reasons, it threw open the doors to, okay, who's interested? Lisa Giovinazzo was mentioned as a candidate, Frank Powers, and others were talked about. So, it didn't have the drama that people want to create, that hurry up, find somebody, we don't have, but it was a process whereby even up to the last minute it was who's genuinely interested, who wants to represent the community and why. And it was a vetting process the Republican Party went through, and I think Frank Powers is a good candidate. The Frank Powers that people want to portray is not Frank came from humble beginnings, and that story will be told in the coming months.
Well, the story with his son, I mean, in a year that's already been so topsy-turvy, I mean, could it get any more unexpected things could happen? Now we have Frank Powers' son, Fran, wants to be in the race on the Libertarian line. I mean, using that as a sort of springboard, your take on sort of how, you may be crazy this whole political season has been.
I just wanted to, the main thing I wanted to say is that this is not about my dad.
Right.
If anybody tries to make this a personal thing, they're absolutely mistaken. It has everything to do with politics and nothing to do about personal.
Just when I think this year couldn't get more bizarre in terms of the topsy-turvy political scene. I read your article today with Fran Powers. I didn't know he had a son. I guess it's Francis Jr. or he goes by Fran, and wants to run on a Libertarian line. So, other than run, I mean, get yourself on the ballot and run, and then ultimately the people will decide whether they want Frank Powers to run, or Fran Powers, or Mike McMahon, or whomever else.